I'd like to present this memento to Prabhakaran, my good friend. Always a pleasure having you around. And I'm going to hand over the mic to Prabhakaran to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you. See, I've been in the talent acquisition industry for about 12 years. I've met 10,000 plus companies. But one company that inspired the most, and there is no other company yet in the US, which is built by Ashwin Bharath. Please come to the stage.
Thank you.
The reason for saying that is consulting companies, services companies, we bring people, and there is one problem that never solved, still is not solved, is the supply-demand gap. Okay? Always there is a problem, the supply-demand. How do you solve that problem? Create the talent. Not just a visa or bringing somebody from here. Create the talent where you are. So he built an engine that creates thousands of local citizens, train them, put them back into the tech industry, and they are placing or creating about over 1,000 students, US citizens, every year, right from the US. And we are all very proud to have an Tamilian to take that initiative wherever we are and make that land a lot more better. Give him a big applause and we will be Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhakaran. Thank you for the kind words, actually. I'm going to use the podium because if I go off script, I might really speak for a very long time. So I don't think so that's a luxury here. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம், எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? Need more energy. So first of all, I like to thank Ram for having me here. Ram, like Krishna, Venki. So thanks for having me here, and thanks for my good friend Prabhakar. Ram, the 27th schedule பண்ணனும் யோசிச்சேன். CSK finals like வட போச்சேன்னு யோசிச்சேன். But if CSK is going to win, right, I think he should schedule every event on IPL final, right? So it's a great honor. It's an absolutely great honor to be part of such a great, accomplished people here. The reason I am saying is, right, like, accomplished is a very kind word, but like, I would say our colleagues will call us as unrealistic folks, right? Like, if you ask some of my team, they will say I'm unrealistic. But think about it, like, what did George Bernard Shaw say? The progress in the world is made by unrealistic people. Because if everybody played it safe, we don't go anywhere. So, like, we all have done it, like, great kudos to that, and I really want to thank once again for having me here. And on full confession, this is the first meeting I'm here. I told this to Cardwell, that I'm attending a conference where I have no intentions to make money out of that meeting. So it's the first for me now. So, if you can go to my slide. I don't know what because here, thank you. Can somebody go to my slide? It will say Ashwin, I believe. Good? Okay. So, I'm going to first talk about our ability to make decisions, right? I might get a little bit into psychology, but this helped me a lot. I just want to I just want to comment on it, right? What is 2 plus 2? 4. Simple, right? We don't even have to think about it. 2 plus 2 is 4, right? What is 23 times 17? We have to think about it, right? So your brain is divided into system 1 and system 2, right? System 1, 95% of our decision making is made by system 1. We don't have to think. It is very, very simple. It instantly comes in your mind. It's controlled by the limbic system of your brain. System 2 is something that you have to think. It's your rational part of your brain. It is your logical part of your brain. We all are born with certain thinking abilities, but we are not born with decision-making abilities. Decision-making ability is an acquired skill. So I just want to tell you how a couple of books changed my life. One is written by Mr. Daniel Kahneman. It's called Think Fast and Slow. Has anybody heard about that book? It's good. That's good. So it's a fantastic book. He's a psychologist, but he got a Nobel Prize for being an economist. And the second one is The Power of Habits by Charles Duhigg. So they made a lot of great suggestions that really helped me in sales, in managing people, right? For example, if you go to sales, I used to go and talk to people in my mindset that I want the client, but they don't care. They have to get the feeling that they want us. It's the same stuff, how I present, how I package made a huge difference, and that helped me here, right? And by the way, what's the answer for 23 times 17? Fantastic, that's good. So this really helped me, right? Again, I'm just showing you the part of the brain that helps you with system 1 and system 2. It really makes, you have to train your system 1 to use your system 2 to make the right decision. Because if you don't do that, you're going to make an emotional decision, especially if you are making an emotional decision on business time, it's going to be wrong. I'll give you an example, right? Like this is with one of our largest clients. Their headquarters is in World Trade Center, New York. I sent a bunch of our folks to start there, day one. The millennials, we don't know what they think, right? And this kid, World Trade Center is probably the most secured facility after White House and the Congress, right? He walks in with a replica grenade into World Trade Center. The chief operating officer of a $35 billion company sits in that building. He walks in with a replica grenade. The whole World Trade Center was shut down. This happened like 2 months ago. It was in CNN announced it, like everything was done. ATF took control of the building. And the chief operating officer, along with a lot of other C-level people, were escorted and kept in a separate room for the whole day. Imagine what I would do. This happened. I thought my whole life is gone. So how you handled it make a huge difference. I never took an emotional decision. I have to handle it rationally. We have to handle it in the right manner. What I thought was I used it as an opportunity to go meet the COO, like for me to present a plan. Why I will not do it again. It came out strong, and guess what? He has renewed our order for next year. So your ability to use your system 1, train it to use your system 2, make all the difference. I strongly recommend you all to read that book. Okay, it makes sense? Yes. And the next one is, this is a major problem. And if you do in business, right, you always get distracted by bright, shiny objects. Don't ever get distracted by bright, shiny objects. You are the bright, shiny objects. As the founders of the company, you are the bright, shiny objects. Don't do that. Your idea tree can grow really big into the monster. Focus on one thing that is going to help you, like that brought you till here, that is going to help you take your company to the next level. Trim the rest of the branches. Just focus on the branch, and that is going to make an absolutely huge difference in you making things simple for you. Any damn fool can make a thing complicated, but it takes a genius to make something simple. So simplify things, trust me, that makes all the difference for you in the world. And one thing I would like to say is, right, this is again, I experienced this a lot, and trust me, if I realized this like 4 or 5 years ago, right, you would have advanced even further. Don't ever confuse your desire to be your goals. You have a huge difference. Not everything can be your goals. Those are your desires. That cannot be your goal. Just focus on the thing that can be your goal. Okay, that in my mind make a huge difference. The trick here is stay away from bright, shiny objects. And here, right, this is like, I will tell you like how we stayed away from our bright, shiny objects, right? Like we are in the talent creation space as Prabhakar mentioned, right? Seeing our competition, we want to do a lot that our competition is doing, and they're making good money out of it. But for some good reason, we decided just to focus on what we are doing, right? What we are focusing on is creating talent. There are 60,000 computer science graduates coming out of this country every year. 60,000 bachelor's degree, right? But the country requires at least 5 times of that every year. How do we do that? We decided to be the aggregator. We became the aggregator for the employers, and we became the university aggregator for the employees, and we became the employer aggregator for the university. So we became the middleman and smart aggregator, not just being an aggregator, but the ability to bring in talent, the ability to like create this, like US citizens, create them and deploy them into these clients. That made a huge difference, and trust me, like before this, we made a lot of sacrifices. I had nearly $50 million of revenue coming from traditional staffing. 4 years ago, we decided we will have zero focus on it. When I say zero focus, absolutely not even a single person managing the $50 million of revenue. Today, that $50 million of revenue has reached 12 million. I did not care. We don't care about it, but our company valuation has increased like at least like 12 times because we just had to focus on it. So that's a huge decision making, and your ability, your business maturity comes with letting go good alternatives to pursue better ones. So we decided to do that business maturity, and that has paid really big reward for us. Okay, and let me check how I'm doing in time. Okay, I'm good. So I would like to make a quote from, this is like, I like to read books. So this is, I just read this in a book and I really loved it. What I mean by this is like, when Kublai Khan was visiting China, he was in the court of, like Marco Polo was visiting China, he was in the court of Kublai Khan. So he was explaining like what's happening in Europe, like everything, and like Marco Polo said about the stone bridge. Kublai Khan, like he was astonished to hear about stone bridge and asked him, which stone is holding the bridge, right? And Marco Polo said, like, it's not one stone, it's a series of stones that's built together like an arch. That's what is holding together. So that, I just want to segue, using that I want to segue into my next one. Identify the right person. It is very, very important that you have to build the right team around you. A right hire gives you 12 times in value of the money that you spend in that person. A wrong hire costs you 5 times the revenue of lost opportunities. Make sure that you make the right hires. It is extremely important that you make the right hires. And right, this is you. You build a company. I don't know why I decided to choose a bald man here. Like, sorry for that. So this is you. Like, you have built a company, and you might have like 30x in return, right? The first thing you have to decide if you want to scale your company is the company is no longer yours. The company belongs to multiple people. If you have the thought that it belongs to you, you will fail massively. You cannot scale. So hire the best team around you. So do that. When you do that, right? Like I would also say, try to bring in like diverse team. Try to bring in some local hires for your team management. Don't just try to bring in like the people that you're comfortable with. Try to bring in some local hires, because what helped us is our entire management team, except me and Shrikant, are like local hires. How it helped us is they've gotten diversity of thoughts. Diversity of thoughts leads to diversity of approach, and diversity of approach leads to innovation. So this is absolutely essential that you have to have a diversity, right? And that really helped us a lot. And again, like what I would like to say is like, Suchi mentioned it, I cannot agree to that more. If you see a bad element in the company, get rid of them. If you find a problem, don't tolerate it. You have to get rid of them. Like this is a little bit of, I don't know if I'm allowed to use this word, but like a dog poop left in the rain can get nasty over time. So just make sure that you have to handle it at the right time. Okay, so build a team, build the right team, build a diverse team with the right mind approach. That's going to make a huge difference. Another thing is, right, I told you as a founder, you are bringing in 30x return, right? But your team can just bring you 12x return. You should be fine with that. Plus, the moment you find somebody who is bringing in a 30x return, you have to give them equity and make them one of the shareholders of the company. And that's, I joined Revature as an employee. I joined Revature as a recruiter. In 6 months' time, I was a shareholder. And as every year progressed, I am like getting more and more shares from the company. So that makes a huge difference in terms of like your ability to find and retain the right talent. And the next one is, right, and this is like the most challenging one, and this is not my word, this is Bloomberg's word. And somebody asked him, what is your secret of building a massive company? He said his ability to identify the right person and to empower that person to build a team around them, right? So you need to make that happen, and by making that happen, you should have a proper management team, management philosophy. And in my mind, what worked for us is an idea-based meritocracy. What I mean by that is, have people around you for with thoughtful discussion and encourage thoughtful discussion, and give weightage based on the merit of the people. You don't have to give weightage equally for everybody. Give weightage based on the merit of the people and make the right decision, right? So with that, I would like to I'm not going to take much time. This is an interesting slide which I love the most is like, if you see the slide, right, I just read this and I was shocked. A kid born today can live up to 150 years. There's a high potential that we will live up to like 100 years or more. I don't know if I want to live like that long, but technology,
Not me.
but technology is, technology is everywhere. Invest in technology. For a company of our size, we invest nearly $2 million in technology, which is really massive for a company of our revenue, but still, it is really paying the rewards. The way things are going, you have to invest in technology, right? And I'm not going to take much time on it. Define principles. Be absolutely radically transparent and radically open-minded. That is really essential for you to scale a company. Defining principle is something that can be repeated and explained to people. My principle is really simple: growth. I make sure that I spend 80% of my time in growth-related activities. That's my simple principle. And I also have in mind, growth can bring in chaos, and your team at times can look you as an agent of chaos. Don't worry about it. As long as you're making progress and you're putting the company in the right direction, that is perfectly fine with it. And sales, I'm just going to take like 2 minutes. I'm going to talk about sales. Invest in sales. Investing in sales makes a huge difference. I would like to point TCS here, like Mr. Atul was here from TechM. TCS, right, they underbid every company, but they have the highest profit margins of all Indian integrators. TCS, can you believe that? They have the highest profit margin. You know why? Because 70% of their sale for this year comes from the previous years. So they sell things in a way, their sale is carried over. For the rest of the Indian integrators, it's the exact opposite. So you have to invest in sales, make sure that you do the right sales division. Like, give preference for sales that can give you continuous business rather than giving you some instant sale. So sales is very key. And like Suji talked about the like making multiple home runs. I'm not going to do that. I have some people as your board of advisors. It could be formal or it could be informal, because not only they can give you the right advice, as an entrepreneur, it is very important that somebody keeps you humble, because all your success can give you an ego and that can get you blindsided. So make sure that you have some advisors who is going to help you to keep you humble. And with that, I'm going to go to my last slide. You really have to think big, start small and scale fast. This has been the motive. And then you think big, right? It is like not 1 + 1 is 2, 1 + 1 is like 11. That has to be the think big part. And like we talked about unicorn, but I would prefer for us to aim for being a dragon, not unicorn, so that, guess what, you might fly in a Game of Thrones one day and come down on land. So think big, and it also comes with a lot of personal sacrifice, right? Like as a company, as we were growing, 3 years ago, we decided not to take a single penny out of the company. So any money that we are making, we are 100% reinvesting in it. So that's the pain that we are taking. So make sure that all these gains are going to come with absolute pain, and if your ambitions are like really high goals, you have to take some pain. And you're going to face a lot of challenging times, but I can tell you, as time progressed, what happened for me was my upward swing, the magnitude of my upward swings really increased, and my downward swings not only got reduced, but they became manageable and highly educational. With that, I really wish you all the luck. Thanks for having me here, and thank you.
Thanks, Ashwin. Please stay. I request Ram to give you a plaque.
So what do you think about Ashwin? He's another high-achieving guy. I love the guy and his company and what is he trying to do. I actually listened to him what the company has made. So we're actually working with him as well. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
While Ashwin's still here, if there is any question, anyone has any question, we just have time for one question, please.
How do you hire the right person? How do you know?
That's a very interesting question, right? So the biggest challenge for you to hire would be with sales, right? So I'm going to take an example of sales. So my simple technique is, salespeople are salespeople, right? They will come in an interview and sell it to you. And trust me, 70-80% of the time you will fail, right? So the simple technique I have is, most of the salespeople, right, they're absolutely gorgeous for like 1 hour. You might think they could be the president of the country. So what I do is, right, I meet them 3-4 times. They cannot be interesting to you for the second time or the third time. If their interest is slowing down, it means they are just good for that 1 hour. They cannot close deals. They can really help you to open an argument, and that's it. So one of the things that I do is, like, I really, especially with sales, I meet them multiple times. If they are boring to me at the second time, third time, goodbye, I don't meet them. The other thing which I also do is, I also look for creative people. It's not just with like their resume, how creative they are, because you need creative solutions, right? Like, I'm sure most of you, a lot of you will here be in staffing industry, right? It's not easy to go to a client. Let's say that you go to Ram and say that, like, hey, I will give you people, right? Like, Ram has 70 companies who will fill his positions no matter what. What differentiator that you make? So you need creative people to help you grow the company. So I look for really, really creative people to make a difference. Okay? Yes. 2 books actually. Charles Hewitt is the author. It's called Power of Habits. And the first one is Daniel Kahneman. It's called Think Fast and Slow. Fast and Slow. And he's a Nobel Prize winner. And you'll be. Stop. Keep talking. Sorry for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ashwin.